Hi, welcome to Colour Club. In today's drawing tutorial, we're going to practice three different ways of blending in, and we're going to do that in two cats that are kind of leaning towards each other. So yeah, it's alcohol markers, and these are the colours that I'm going to use. Feel free to switch these around if you want. Spectrum Noir Illustrator pens is my preferred manufacturer nowadays, and these are the main colours. So these are the cat colours. Yeah, we're going to go for black, russet, and mango. But black, brown, and orange are the three colours that you want to go with. Essentially, we're going to have one cat that is going to be black and orange, patchy kind of colours, maybe a bit of blending. Then we're going to have another cat that is going to be orange and brown. So loads of blending between those two colours as well. So that's why we're going for those three colours. So essentially, as long as you've got a dark, medium, and a light tone, you'll be good. Grab yourself a pink. I'm using Frost Pink. This is just going to be for the tips of the noses, that kind of thing. So yeah, we're not going to use too much pink in our drawing. Fine liners, I'm using my usual setup of thin, medium, and fat. So thin is a 0.1, medium is 0.7, and the fat is a 1.5. So the 0.7, it's the medium one that we're going to use for most of our outlinings. There's a little tiny bit of colouring in today, which is why I've got the 1.5 out, and there might be some little details we want to add in with the 0.1 towards the end of the session as well. As usual, start with a pencil for Colour Club. So we're going to do a few little guidelines with the pencil, and then we'll go in and colour in and then ink in. This, by the way, the sketchbook I'm using is a Spectrum Noir premium marker pad, which is perfect for these kind of drawings. Okay, are you ready then? So grab your pencil. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to draw the first line in right in the middle of our sketchbook. We're just going to do a line up and then just hook it around like that. See how big it is? That kind of a size. Once you've got an idea of how big that is, then we're going to have one cat this side, one cat the other side. Once you've got an idea of how big that is, let me just zoom in a little bit so we can draw the rest of our cat, okay? So over this side, we're going to do quite a big cat, a tall cat, okay? So what we'll do is that we're going to bring an ear in, go across, and then bring another ear out like that. Okay, so we just bring it back for an ear, across the top of the head. Make sure that top part of the head is just pointing up. That's ideally what we want. And then go and throw in another ear. And then what we'll do is going to bring that all the way back down to the bottom. There's our cat shape, just kind of leaning over. That's what we want, yeah? So you see this first line we did was pretty straight, and then it leans over at the end. Last little line on this one, we're going to take from here, we're going to go all the way across the bottom, curl up, add in a tail, and bring it back down again. So all the way across. Curl in, add a tail, bring it back down again. Don't go too fat with that tail on this side. We're going to do a specific type of blending in just there where you don't really want it too fat. The other side, though, the cat on the other side, you can go as fat as you want with the other tail. Talking of which, let's go and do that cat on the other side. So this one is kind of leaning the other way. So just down here, look, let's put an ear in there and then go across for the head. Now, again, we want it to look like it's leaning that way this time. So put the head going up like that. So we've got an ear, got the top of the head. Let's go and put another ear in. So it's going to go up like that, about the same kind of height. Then over on this side, let's bring that line down to about there. So there's our two cat shapes, really basic cat shapes. We'll finish off with that line that's going to go across the bottom there, curl up for a tail, and then back down again. So this one, you can afford to go a little bit fatter with this one if you wanted to. Like that. Couple more lines in there, just a few little guidelines to help us along the way. One set of lines that we need to put in is let's get into every single ear and put in an inner ear shape. Just a little triangle in there. It's going to help us a lot when we do our colouring in, so we know which bits to hit, which not to hit. Next, on this one, on the tall cat, we're going to put two round eyes. Have them quite far apart if you can. Try not to do them too close together because we are going to do some patches around the eyes. So let's go for one just there. Look, one just there. Two nice big round eyes. One more shape, and then we're done with pencil lines. Over on this one, we're going to have this cat is going to have its eyes closed. So let's just whack in a little triangle down here so we know where the nose is going to live. Right, there are all our pencil lines in. Go and rub out any lines that you don't want in there or where you've made little mistakes. The only lines you should need to rub out definitely are these ones going through the tail. But all the others, you can kind of keep them in there. It's worth me reminding you at this point that I go quite dark with my pencil lines. That is purely so that you can see what I'm doing. You don't want to go quite as dark with your pencil lines. You want to go nice and light, just so that enough that you can see it, but not too much that it takes up too much. There's too much pencil on there. Okay, everybody got that in? Let's go and start throwing on some color. Okay, so like I said, we're going to try out three different methods of laying color onto our artwork. What we'll do is we'll start over this side, we'll work our way across. The first method we're going to use is the nib to nib method. So essentially what we'll do is we're going to take the orange and the black, and we're going to take some of the ink from the black, we're going to put it on top of the orange, put it in the orange nib. So we'll touch the nib of the black, we'll touch the nib of the orange, and if you hold the black on top, what it will do is the ink will just, the gravity will just pull that ink away from the black and put it onto the orange nib. Then what you've done, when you've loaded that orange nib up with a bit of black, then what we're going to do is going to get into this tail, and we're just going to go backwards and forwards, just side to side, and slowly move our way down the tail. Now, as we slowly move our way down the tail, the nib will start to clean itself. So it will go from black and it should fade into an orange. Now, black into orange is a huge contrast difference. So this is definitely one of those techniques that's worth kind of playing with different colors and seeing what works. Generally, I find that putting a dark color over the top of a light color works better. But, you know, give it a go. Practice with different colors just to see what happens. So, right, let's take the nib off of our orange. There it is. And then I'd also kind of take the fat end off of the black. So orange is upright at the moment. So what you want to do is just hold that black and just touch the nib. And if you look closely at the nib, what you should see is it starts to turn itself black. You might be able to see that on camera, I'm not sure, but just be watching your nib. Turn it black. Sometimes what you want to do is just kind of count how many seconds you're holding it on for. Because however many seconds you hold it on for is how long it's going to take for it to go back to its original colour as well. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Okay, so we've got an orange pen now with a black nib. What we're going to do is going to start at the tip of the towel up and just go side to side and just slowly work our way down that tail. Now what you'll notice, it does get a little bit streaky. Try and hold your pen upright as much as you can. Just keep on going backwards and forwards until your pen is completely back to orange. There you go. A little bit of it's a streaky texture that we're getting in there, but that's fine. I don't mind that at all. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go in with the fat end of the pen. Just going to tidy it all up a little bit. Blend over that. Just give it another little coat. And then just bring that orange down. Because we're now at the correct orange, the clean orange that's in the pen, we can start colouring in a bit faster with the fat end of the pen. But this is definitely a technique to play around with different colours, see which ones play nicely together. And it's all about, figuring out what kind of characters that will work on as well. So we know it's going to work on this tail. Because the tail's thin, so any kind of thin character like a worm or something like that, it's a good thing to practice on. Okay, as we get into the butt here, what I want us to do is just put in a little patch like that. Carry on colouring in. So we're going from that tail, we're going to blend from the black into the orange and then just add this orange patch. Awesome. That's good. That's where you need to be. And yeah, so you will kind of see, like on there is some streaks. There's some streaks in there as we've kind of changed. What you'll find is that some colours work really well together and blend really well, and you won't see those streaks. It will just go straight from one colour to the other colour in a nice gradual fade. Some you'll get those streaks in, so it's worth kind of playing around with it. The reason we put this left the streaks in is because we're going to have some stripes on this tail anyway, so it's not really going to matter too much. Okay, so we've got black and orange. Yeah, we're going to go and colour in the rest of this cat in black and orange. Now this one's patch, so it is going to be a bit of a patchy cat. So my suggestion is go and get the black. Let's go and put some black patches on first. We're going to start up around the eye. So you remember I said put the eyes quite far apart. The reason for that is because we're going to do this line that goes all the way through the eye like that. And then this bit is all going to be black. So outline everything around the eye as well. Look, outline everything, then go and colour that in. So just take your time on this bit. This is all about accuracy, especially if you're using a brush nib. The brush nibs are great. They do feel a little bit floppy sometimes, like a lack of control in there. But once you get used to them, they're actually really good. You can get right in all the little tiny cracks depending on how hard you're pressing. There we go, it's got our first black patch. We're going to throw in a couple more black patches now. So let's go and put in one down here. I'm going to use the thin end of the nib. Thin end of the nib to give me that shape. Fat end of the nib to go and colour it in. We'll do another patch like that. Last one with the black. This time move it over to this side. This area, I mean, you can go crazy with your patches, put them wherever you want, but try to avoid this area, especially with any black patches, because this is where the legs are going to go later. So there you go, one last little black patch in there. That'll do for now. We can come back later on, put some more black patches in. Let's get the rest of the cat finished before we decide what extra bits it needs. Okay, go and grab your orange then. So next what we're going to do with the orange is we're going to go and put some patches of orange in on this cat. We've already got one around the butt there, which is great, but let's go and put one around this other eye. So you see how we've got that curve going across there. We're going to do the same kind of thing, just coming across this way that time. Make sure your pen is clean, because we've just used it with that black. There's potential that your pen might still be a little bit dirty. So just scribble on a bit of paper to clean it off. It's not the end of the world if you have a little bit of colour on there. See, I've got just a little tiny bit of black showing on that bottom line. So we've given one eye a black patch, we've given the other eye an orange patch. Go around the ears, leave the inner ears. There you go, that looks good. Then what we can do is go and add some more patches to our cat. So we've got this big space here, look. Let's add a patch in there. And again, you know, I said leave this bit where the feet are. Don't put too many patches in there yet. Same goes for this bit where the nose is. Don't put too many patches in there yet. We can come back and do those a little bit later. As soon as we've got the nose in, we can decide where all the other patches need to live. But yeah, let's just go and put some basic patches on there first. What about another small one? Let's just put a small one here. Beautiful. We got that in. Awesome. Okay, let's move over to the other cat now. We're going to start blending with two different colors. So we're going to stick with that orange, but this time we're going to introduce a brown into the mix as well. So sticking with the orange, what that does is it gives us a nice limited palette, so everything kind of ties together from a color point of view. But having this brown and coloring the whole cat, which is what we're going to do this time, is going to make this cat look different. Right, now what we're going to do is we're going to do our normal blending style, my favorite blending style over on the tail. We're going to start at the top, we're going to go in with a lighter color. We're going to color the whole tail in with the lighter color. Then we'll go in with the brown. From the bottom up, we'll just flick a few lines of brown in, then back into the lighter color to help blend and smooth that, add a bit of a fade to where we've just put those colors in, okay? Once we've done the tail, we're going to move across. Then we're going to try the third way of blending, which is where we put the brown bit on first. Just going to flick up from the base with the brown and then flick up from the base with the orange. So this bit, you'll see what it's like to put the lighter color on first. This bit, you'll see what it's like to put the darker color on first. And you'll find out how difficult it is to kind of blend colors and what kind of effect you get from which color you put down first. Right then, let's talk in. Let's go and do it. So I'm going to take fat nibs off because I'm using fat nibs on this one. Let's go and start on this tail then. So what we're going to do is we're going to start at the top. We want the top's going to stay orange. That's fine. The bottom though is going to eventually be brown. So start at the top, work your way down. Keep on working across. Try to go in the same direction as what the fur would go as well, because then if you do get any like little pen strokes showing up, they actually look like they add in something. Look at that. Just hold your pen upright. The more upright you get it, the more it's going to look like a proper brush stroke. Get right into the base of the tail there. Flick that pen up. It should be all nice and wet there. And then when you're ready, go and grab the brown. And what we're going to do with the brown, we're just going to go into that part. Just flick the pen up a few times. Look. See how I'm trying to keep the pen upright, so I am making the most of these pen strokes. You could just leave it like that. That does look quite nice. That would look great. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go over these lines. Just start to blend them in a little bit. So just kind of softening it off. You might want to go back in with that brown again, maybe put in a little bit more down here. Look. While it's still wet, go and get the orange, just drag it up. Keep on doing that until you've got a fade that you're happy with. Keep it in the strokes in the direction of the fur, and it will look nice. Okay, next thing we're going to do, keep on moving. We don't want to wait until this gets too dry. We're going to go across the base. We're going to go across the base with the brown color this time. So we're putting on the darker colour, and then we'll put on the orange colour afterwards. So I'm going to start over here. Look, just flick that line up. As you're flicking this line up, try to get them all kind of a bit more irregular. So you've got some short lines and some long lines. That's going to help make it look a little bit more natural. So as you get over to this side, we can just colour that bit in there. With a quick coat, make sure it's got double coating so it's a little bit wet. So we've got all those strokes up, then go and grab your orange, and we're just going to go over that and just start dragging those colours up. So just get it right from the bottom, right from the base of the cat, where we put that brown in, and just drag it up. We're getting a real nice effect coming up here. A bit more prominent, a bit more textured than what we've got in the tail there. Which is okay. Okay, work your way across them. Work your way across. We're going to do the whole cat in this orange. As soon as you get to the top, though, we are going to put another brown bit in. So the ears and the top of the head are going to be brown. For the time being, just slowly work your way up. Go around that nose. Remember, the eyes on this one are going to be shut, so we don't have to worry about leaving any gaps for the eyes. Across the top of the nose. Remember, we're going to put the tip of the ears is going to be in brown. So get up quite close. And then go and grab your brown. Let's flick down from the tip of the ears. Look. Across the top of the head. Little flicks down. Make sure you get loads of ink on there. Back in with the yellow. And in fact, you can use the stiffer nib here. Let's just soften that up a little bit. It might be that you kind of like the way the fringe just looks there. You could leave it like that. I kind of like those little bits of texture coming through. Let's just soften them a little bit. Just so that we get little tiny bits of fur showing. There we go. So hopefully what you can see from that, these are like our base coats, is even though we're using pretty much the same color spectrum, black, brown, orange, we've got two completely different looking cats in there. Okay, last little bit of colouring in on here. Go and grab that pink pen. And all we're going to do with the pink pen, we're going to go the inner ears and colour in the noses as well. So let's get in these inner ears. Now this one we penciled in the nose. We only penciled in the nose because we knew we had to colour around it. so that we got this real nice sharp pink showing through. The other one didn't pencil in a nose, so just kind of put in where you think the nose would be. Little tiny button nose like that. I mean, you can go for a big nose, you go for whatever you want in there. Awesome. Right, that is like halfway stage. That's all the colouring done. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move over to our black pens. We'll come back to those colours. Don't put those colours away yet. We'll come back to them and we'll use them again to add some more texture. But for the time being, let's go over to our black pens. So I'm mainly going to use a 0.7 to start off with, my medium pen. So let's go and grab that and let's start putting some outlines. We're just going to concentrate on the outlines of the main outline of both cats first. And then we'll get on the inside and start putting some outlines on the inside, okay? So let's just work on the outside first. Now, you know me, I like a wonky line, so let's outline it for once. Starting on this tail, go around it again, make it a nice wonky line. No shame in having some like fat bits, thin bits in there. Go over all your lines twice. Now, even though this ear is black, I still like to outline those areas. So I'm going to still outline, double line that, even though it's black. Just feel like it finishes it off better. Let's work our way across and let's go through the middle of our body now. Well, not through the middle of the body, through the middle of the two cats combined. That very first line that we added in. Let's finish off this cat. Little line across the bottom. And what I do just here, look, just curve that round a little bit. Just add a nice little gentle curve in there. Okay, let's go and outline the other cat. Same technique, just take your time, go around it all, double line it. So we've done that one ear, we've done across the top of the head, we've now going down the side of the other ear, all the way down the side of the body to the base of the tail. Double line it, any bits that you've missed. If you've got a bit of ink showing on the outside, then double line it, cover over that ink. If you've got a bit of white showing on the inside, double line it and cover over that white. Let's go around the tail. Now don't forget that the whole kind of one of the main benefits of double lining, as well as making your artwork look good and making it more enjoyable to draw because you're not stressing yourself out about trying to draw a smooth line, but by actually drawing wonky lines and drawing them fast, you become better at drawing smooth lines as well. So it is a real nice benefit. So just get in there with your wonky lines, try and draw them quite fast, knowing that it will help you eventually go for those smooth lines if that's what you like. Personally, I like a wonky line, so I'm just going to stick with wonky lines. There we go, that looks good. Let's go and put in a, let's go and do the features inside our animal now. So we're just going to outline the inner ears and the eyes, nose, that kind of thing. Choose which pen you want to use. I'm going to stick with my fat pen that I used for outlining. And again, even though these have got, they're already black, still going to outline double line it. We're just doing the animals features, just the basic features for the time being. So what we're thinking is ears, eyes, nose, also that mouth as well. Let's go and put in a W at the bottom there. So we've got a bit of a mouth going on. Let's whip over into the other cat. Ears first. Eyes. Now this cat is going to have closed eyes, so let's just put two curves like that. Maybe put some little eyelashes in. 3 little lines coming out the side. That looks pretty cute. Around the nose, even though we're using a thin pen, we still double line it. And then what kind of a mouth do you want to put in? Let's go for a mouth like that, and let's make this one smile. There we go, little cute little smile in there. Let's go and finish. Let's finish this one's eyes, shall we? And then we'll kind of move our way down. With this one's eyes, I want to make them real big, dilated eyes for the cat. So let's go and put in a massive circle first and a little reflection up in the corner. Colour the rest in black. So we've got that kawaii style eye, but we've still got a little bit of the white of the eye showing through around the outside. Let's try and do the same over there. Something similar. So we've got these real keen, open eyes. They look great. Next feature I'd like us to add on is the legs. Now, the legs of this cat are very symbolic. They're not particularly, they don't look like real legs. They just look like an indicator that that's where the leg is. And it's going to be a little triangle kind of shape. So in order to get real sharp points and sharp ends, I'm going to use my thinnest pen for this. I'm going to draw 2 little thin triangles down here. Now, 2 big legs that side, 2 small legs that side is what we're going for. So like this, look, let's go for just there. Just there. There's our legs. So I'm going with this thin pen just to make sure the corners of the triangles really sharp. That might have been overkill. You might be able to get away with that with a 0.7. I'm now going to go to the 0.7 just to colour that in. You might want to use that 1.5 depending on how big you went with yours. Let's colour those legs in black. There we go. So just take your time getting around those corners. Want to keep them nice and sharp. There's our 2 legs. On the other side, we're going to do exactly the same thing, just a little bit shorter. Let's put the 2 legs in on this side. So let's go for one just there. And let's go one just here. Colour those in black as well. So we've got some consistency. So people know their legs. Awesome. It's looking good. Let's carry it on then. So now we've got the important legs in there. What I'd like us to do now is just go back to the colours and add some like extra texture in. So on this cat, we're going to add in loads more patches. On this cat, we're going to add in some texture with some little mark making. The way we're going to do that texture with the mark making is like a double dose of the orange. So we're not going to use a new color. We're just going to use the same color over the top of this orange. If you color it orange, let it dry, and then color it orange again, you get like a double dose. It becomes twice as uh, saturated. So it should show up a little bit more. Let's go and put some patches on this side though first. So yeah, grab that black pen and the orange pen, and just figure out, where you want to put these patches on. There's no right or wrong for this. Just go and chuck them on. Obviously, we've done some of the bigger, more important patches, so we can just concentrate on the smaller ones now. Small ones there. But also, let's do that double dose that I was talking about. Look, so going into here, look, giving it 2 coats of orange. It's the same orange, but look at how it just stands out. So just go into all those orange areas and add in. Let's put one there as well. All of those orange areas, add in some more orange. Once you're done with that, let's go into the other side, and we're going to again do that double dose of orange. So, but this time what we'll do is we're going to put some extra texture in here. So like little lines like this, look. Going all the way across our tail. And again, you can see, look, that double dose of orange just pops out nicely. Give it a few of those. As you're coming down into the browner area, that's where you want to start putting the brown in. So we've done it with the orange there. Let's go and grab that brown now, and let's go and put in some little bits of texture with the brown. Look. Looks nice, yeah? Let's go and do the same in the body here. So just go across the chin, get that orange out, just underneath the mouth, all the way across. Don't try and be too neat with it. Remembering that when you get into that brown area, that's when you want to switch your pen over. Put some brown lines in. Overload that with these little lines. So for example, we can just go up the top there. We've got a little bit of space up in the head, in between the eyes, look. Around the cheeks. Just want to add in loads of texture wherever you feel like it needs it, or it can get away with it. Okay, let's go back to our black pens now. What we're going to do is we're going to add some stripes to these cats. So this cat over this side, Patch is going to have some real kind of thin, sharp stripes. This cat is going to have some fat, round stripes. Okay. So I'm going to use my 0.7. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the tail first. Just do some thin stripes going all the way down. Keep it kind of like random. When I say random, I mean like the line thickness needs to be random. The gap in between needs to be random. So we put one up on its own up there, 2 close together. Let's bring it down. Let's put one here. Look, add a little bit of a curve to it. If you want to make your tail look a little bit rounder. Keep on working your way down. till we've got a bunch of stripes in there. Then we're going to add the same across the back here as well. Okay, so let's go and throw some stripes in. I'm going to start at the top, work my way down. So watch this. We'll just flick in some little stripes. Across there, just keep on working your way down. Forget about that black patch. Let's go straight down to here. Again, start putting some in. Some of these can be quite fat if you want them fat. Let's do a fat one, shall we? There's no rules to this. Just doing whatever you want to do in there. Grab that thin pen if you want to just tidy up some of those. So I'm reasonably happy with that, but there's just a couple of bits that I just want to tidy up. So I'll just grab that thin pen, just do some little bits of line work. Just be careful you don't overdo it in there. Okay, I'm liking that. That's looking okay. And then it was a case of doing the fat stripes on the other cat. So I'm going to do 3 stripes across this one's body. Look. Fat round stripes. Let's put 3 over this side. A bit smaller over this side because we've not got much space to play with. And then let's go and repeat that over the other side. We can go a little bit bigger over this side because we've got a little bit more space. There's 1, 2, just fat round stripes. And then 1 more down here. They look nice. Let's repeat those stripes. Let's go and put them in the tail as well. So these stripes, as they go in the tail up, go from side to side. I'm going from side to side. If you want to round them off, you can do. That would look pretty cool. I'm going all the way from one side to all the way on the other side. It does mean that you're going to be going over some of that texture that you put in. But that's okay because those little bits of texture that are popping out are just going to look even better. Okay, let's do that in 3 stripes. Just so, again, there's an element of consistency. That's the only reason I'm doing 3 stripes. Beautiful. That's looking really good. Okay, we're home straight on this now, so it's really just a case of have a little bit of fun with this character. Let's grab that thin pen. Let's add some whiskers, some extra little bits of fur that are flicking out all over the place. Anything else you want to put in on the outside of your character as well, go and do that. I'm definitely going to put in the whiskers first. 2 different ways of putting in whiskers. One is you can just flick the pen out. So this is a 0.1. Some big whiskers. Look, try and keep it starting in about the same place on both sides. You can do that, or you can do the more traditional cartoon style of whiskers, which is the 3 dots. Again, just concentrate on your symmetry with that. One thing I always notice as well is in the past when I've drawn cats, they always have like little whiskers coming out their ears as well. So maybe you want to go and throw in some Little whiskers coming out of ears as well. It's looking good. I'm going to go back up to my 0.7 because I'm going to flick out some big chunks of fur. So I've used the 0.1 for the whiskers, nice little fine hairs. But let's now go in, look, with some little chunks of fur all over the place. See the difference between the chunky bits of fur and the whiskers? Let's make our character look scruffy. Just putting in these bits of fur all over the place. I think it just gives your character a little bit more personality if you do these kind of things. Awesome. Final thing I'm going to do, just because I like to do this kind of stuff, is put in a few flies knocking around. Always put one in upside down. Maybe too close together. One near the butt. And I think that's a really nice finish. Just go throw in some little quote marks every now and then. Look. Don't think about it too much. Just find a gap. Somewhere that's looking a little bit boring. Throw in some quote marks. Doesn't even have to be quote marks. Can just be little lines on their own. And I think that's about it. There you go. That is a really nice finish for a couple of cats. So, yeah, challenge is, how crazy can you go with colours for these cats? How many cats can you do all in a row? Trying to do this technique of kind of linking them both together. Let's give it one little signature. There it is. Over to you. Let me know how you get on with your cat doodles. Okay, thank you very much for taking part. I'll see you in the next video.